listen to the characters I named that we are working on currently, and you put them all together, there's no coincidence that may someday equal the Avengers. I think just having that possibility on the horizon is something that excites all.
What's up, Alphas? It's your boy Zell May, and of course we're on Overall 99 Media talking about the Marvel fix. Yes, Disney's Marvel has had problems. Yes, problems that us, the consumers, have voiced to Marvel over the Phase 4 and even Phase 5. We have issues with a lot of things Marvel are doing, but I see Marvel trying to fix said problems. And today we're going to go over some of those problems that Marvel has and the problems that need to be fixed. Whether it's expectations, VFX, and lack of storytelling, skipping the heart of characters, we're going to talk about it right now. First off, I do want to start off by talking about the great expectation. Yes, the hype after Infinity War and Endgame. As we saw on YouTube and many other places, we have seen people actively even rooting for Marvel to fail. Superhero fatigue is a real thing, and I think the destruction of the generic build up to a superhero has also been destroyed, to the point I have seen many people actually arguing to not start superheroes at the beginning just to give us the story that we already know. We already see they're doing that with the Fantastic Four and other characters we've seen multiple times. We don't want that generic intro. We just want to see them in the universe. I even think, even this is not confirmed, but I even think in Deadpool that they're going to introduce for Secret Wars, before they give us the generic intro again, of the old mutants, just so they don't have to do that over and over again. Because I think we saw with Blue Beetle that people have a problem with generic superhero movies. There's nothing outstanding about them. They want this extreme villain that takes time to build, and they're not really giving us that. So I think the hype, the great expectation, and the destruction of a generic superhero is one problem that Marvel needs to understand and fix real quick. The second problem, too much, too fast. We saw Bob Chapek turn out so much content. We had five like Disney Plus shows or specials. We had 4 films a year, all scheduled, all had a time frame, all wanted to be out quickly. They weren't spread out. We have to have one in this queue, this queue, this queue, this queue, and maybe one in between queues. Bob Chapek put so much emphasis on all this that the VFX people were fatigued. They want to unionize now. They were tired, therefore less quality in visuals, less quality and even story, which we can get into in a minute. But this fatigue and too much too fast, also going into the fatigue question, which is going to be throughout this whole video. Too much too fast making us fatigue even quicker, because used to you have to map out. You want to watch a Marvel movie in the summer, you want to watch one maybe in the September, you maybe want to watch one at the beginning of the year, the February and March time. But this happen more often. Now we have all these shows, and that's one thing we have noticed that, again, we're going to talk about, Marvel seems to be fixing. The third thing I want to talk about is a lack of investment in storytelling. We say generic shows. I have no problem with generic movies. Like I said, Blue Beetle was one of them. But once you get these in a universe, you want investment in those characters. I love a lot of the characters that Marvel introduced. I like the actors in them. Miss Marvel is a perfect example. She was a perfect actor, but I felt like they didn't dive into her storytelling. They told a story of everything around her, from her family, her friends, her culture, but we didn't get to sit with her. We didn't get to sit with the Monica Rambeaus. We didn't get to sit with these characters. Why do we care? Like we got to sit with an Iron Man. Like we got to see how Iron Man actually thought and how his mind process was, and how he was this narcissistic guy who became this benevolent guy who was the hero that I am, Iron Man. We didn't see this with Ironheart. We didn't see this with Moon Knight. It's just story around this character, which is nothing wrong with, but the storytelling in that case wasn't even good, because that leads to my number 4 thing, which I think is a problem. You're skipping the heart of the character, which I just mentioned. See, if you have great storytelling around the character, it can still hit, right? So the lack of investment in those stories actually hurt this, because they also skipped the heart of the character. Why should I care about Miss Marvel? What reason did they give us in that show to actually care if something happened to her? I love the show simply because of the cultural aspect. But as a superhero fan and the investment in the character of Miss Marvel, why should I care? Why should I care in Moon Knight? Why should I care? We are missing the heart in most of these characters. The reason we cared about Captain America was because we saw how he was with his friends when Bucky went against Iron Man and the heart that they had together. We saw those things. We saw Captain America. We saw Spider-Man with how he felt about Tony Stark, and it kept the constant build up of being a role model, a kid who was growing into his character. Even Doctor Strange on how he lost his hand. Name a character recently from the Eternals, from any other character that we actually had that heart. Despite the story being generic, which I said a lack of investment in storytelling, which goes back to 3, where's the heart of the character? You can give generic stories like Iron Man 1 and 2, but we got heart from it. We got a thing of the character. Why should I care about this character? Why am I invested? And I feel like Marvel lost it. I feel like trying to get these shows out and building the Secret Wars so fast lost the heart of the character. And that's what they're really trying to do. They're trying to get back to my number 1. You see how these go together? They're trying to get back to that hype of Infinity War and Endgame really quickly so we get Secret Wars in 3 or 4 years while we're trying to build up all these other characters, and now we're trying to speed up the story through Secret War rather than giving them their chance to shine on their own. And I think that's the one major problem they have. We're trying, so in culmination, we're trying to get back to my number 1, Infinity War and Endgame, but we're trying to do too much too fast that we lack the investment in storytelling, and we're skipping the heart of the character. You see how they all went together? You see how all of that seems to go together when you discuss it in that way? But let's go to my number 5 point, in which how Marvel seemed to address this situation. We have seen them postpone shows indefinitely. We have seen them delay shows. We have seen a thought process back by Bob Iger, which he's commenting about the writers thing. You can like him or love him, but he's put an emphasis on let's tell the stories better. That's his main thing when he came back. Let's slow down. Let's tell these stories. And that's good for me. That's a good hype. It's not too much too fast. We can slow everything down. We can let people build. We can just invest in the character that's important in Secret Wars instead of putting all these other characters. Do we really need Wonder Man right now? Unless it's important in Secret War. Do we really need all these other things? By the way, I do hope Wonder Man and the Daredevil story come out, because Born Center has to be great. Please put investment in Born Center. That is an amazing story. But it seems like they're canceling production. They're slowing down. They're delaying a lot of shows so they're changing the names and making you want to care. We saw Agatha Harkness. It seemed like it was a show about progressing and getting Wanda's children and growing. That was the rumor that the show was about. Now it seems like it's a prequel to tell us why we should care about Agatha. That's the rumor going around. I have no clue if that's true, but if that's the case, you keep putting emphasis on those things, Marvel can see. Marvel will have their fix. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a slow down, focused product that Marvel can actively put out and make this show great, because we all love Marvel. We all love our superhero. And I think they have a chance to do something great, but please, you got to invest in the story. Can't do too much too fast. Give the characters a heart, and we'll be right back at Secret Wars, hype and happy, just like we was for Infinity Game and Endgame. Like and subscribe, hit your notification bell. This is May telling you one more time how much we appreciate you for watching this video. Thank you, and give me a Wazam on the way out. Peace.